You awake?
I'm awake.
Are you wide awake?
Let's do this.
Okay, we're live.
Where's Valid Milk? You got your pen and paper?
You might need 2 this time. Get 2 pads of paper.
She said she's going to have questions. Spit them out.
Okay. What you drinking? Whiskey?
Yep.
That's the right way to start a day.
Whiskey and Coke. Drinking. Not
Drinking.
Uh-huh.
That. Hi, guys. OMG, ZAHEER. Chris is watching from bed. Chernoff's connection.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks a lot. Hi, Jasmine. How are you? Jennifer's here.
I don't think we'll see Cliff because he was live when I went to bed and live when I woke up.
Are you kidding? Oh my God. He put me out like instantly. I said, hi, Cliff, put me to sleep. And he did it. He did a great job as usual.
I woke up, I was like, WTF? He's like, WTF what? I'm like, oh. He started laughing.
No kidding.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, Damien, hey, how are you? He's happy about our new time slot. He can watch now.
Who's that, Damien?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, Sandollar. Haven't seen your name before. Welcome. And Michelle's here. Hi. And Eric. Couple of pickers. How about them? Let's talk about the couple of
perverts.
I like them. If you guys like fun in the evening, check out Couple of Pickers. We're always in their chats.
They're like us.
But better. A little more cleavage. And quite a bit more, actually.
And Rob's a little grumpier.
Yes. Quite a bit.
Lisa's a little nicer.
She's fun. I like that. I swear she's my sister. We have way more in common than I ever imagined we could.
Cliff has voice like hot cocoa.
He does. It's buttery. Hi, Glock. Tim.
Oh, God.
How is everyone this morning? Valid Milk. ZAHEER, I sent you the link if you want to come in. You're welcome to. Hey, Anthony. And Georgina, you've got a flight today, I believe. How you doing? You packed?
Does she leave today?
I think so. There's Tim over the years, too.
Well, she's going to Greece, right? Going to Greece or somewhere?
I can't keep up with her travels. I don't know. I'm a little jealous, so I'm ignoring it now. Hi, Kelly. Hi, John. All right.
Did you put all Brad's info in the description?
I put his charity auction to Aussie Thrifters is in the description. I still need to go over and get the 2 charities that we are donating to and put those links in the description. Cool. Do you remember what they are? I think one's a Red Cross.
Nope.
I don't know.
I never knew what they were.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely, after we end this today, put the links to the direct donation pages in the description. But on Saturday, we're going to do, well, here we go, times. Saturday, US and UK, Sunday, Australia. We're doing the charity auction that we've all been talking about so much. So if you don't know anything about it, check it out. 7 p.m. you're leaving. Where are you going, Georgina? I can't remember. Hi, Larry and Candace.
Of course she said Athens, but I could be wrong.
Maybe it was Turkey. I don't know. Hi, ZAHEER. How are you?
I'm wearing the same jumper as I was wearing yesterday.
And you look just as awake as you did yesterday.
I love this ZAHEER. Look at him. He's all spry.
I'm just happy that you guys are on it this time. It's so cool.
We're happy that we're on it this time because you're here.
This is our third co-host. We're keeping this one. we have
I'm not a co-host at all. I'm just popping in and saying hi. Kind of thing, you know.
Everybody loves you. They love you more than us. We're just happy
no, not at all. Not at all. I'm just popping the chat out so I can still watch the chat.
Oh, Tommy, you're so good. You were right. It is Athens.
I'm hoping to drunk bid tomorrow.
That's beautiful.
We got to take lessons from Georgina on reselling, hopping planes to Athens and the US.
Well, yeah, I know, right?
I don't know. Either that or she married, right? I'll take lessons on either of those things.
Or she's selling herself, one or the other.
That'll work too. No judgment. None at all.
Sales are sales, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's our buddy Chris, Thrift Beast. Hi.
There he is. A whole stone lighter, no gallbladder.
Patty.
Thank
We
you,
both
ZAHEER.
secret co-hosts. See, there we go.
Do you know what? I've been today. I didn't actually do as much sourcing as I could have done. Like I went, but I didn't hang out for as long as I normally do and look for stuff. Didn't go to as many places because I think I finally realised that I've started to push how much stuff I can keep at home.
We can see it. The landscape is changing behind you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working all morning just trying to organize and like get rid of all the rubbish, you know, because I bought a bunch of stuff yesterday, and like it's just it reminds me of why we went and got an office space, but until we can really afford it, then we're not going to go for that again. But some kind of space may be necessary at some point because this is crazy. Because the thing is, I didn't mind it, but when it stops you from going as hard as you would otherwise, you know, that's worrying. Because
When that's in your headspace, like when you're sourcing, like that's crazy.
Well, so here, you don't have another area in your house at all that you can kind of stuff some things?
It's already spread out there, and that's become you know.
Does Beck kind of start to get like
you know what, she's actually been really good about it, to be honest, Tommy, but it does bother her though. Like you know, it still bothers her because it is our living room, you know. It's not nice, you know, it's not nice. You come in and you see like loads of empty boxes or big rolls of bubble wrap or something.
Well, that way you can never escape it either that way. That's the thing. It's
you want to be able to shut the door, don't you? I mean,
well, if you had some sort of a large cabinet or something that you could maybe close up.
Well, a couple of pickers claim that spare bathrooms are good for.
With two daughters and a wife, you do not have a spare bathroom. I guarantee you.
We were thinking of putting like a little, you know, those little partition screens that you can get. Putting one of those up so we don't see the stuff that's crept into the living room. Because our living room is basically our living room and our dining room, and then there's this bit of extra space, and it's just quite long but narrow. And then like we were thinking of just partitioning off, so you know, just so we don't see it, because I think it can really mess with you. So
thanks, Eric. I've known how to pop up this. I just don't do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Bathtubs can hold quite a lot, Lisa says. You know what, though, Z? I go through spurts of looking for those partitions on Facebook Market, and I always stop myself because I think if I buy one, I'm going to buy a second one.
Partition every room up in the house.
It's going to just be partitioned.
The whole house is cut in half now by partitions.
Chernok, we do have a shed, but the thing is, the shed, even though it's just out there, like in the winter, like the grass gets all muddy around the doorway, and then you start bringing mud into the house, and then you got to take. I know these are really minor things, but I've learned in life that it is the minor things that make the major differences. So even there's something as lame as taking on and off your shoes as you come in and out of the house might sound so minor, but I think it's big of an issue. It's mentally too big of an issue.
I have shoes that I wear only in the house, and I keep them right at the door. I wear them every day, all day, and then I have shoes that I wear outside, and I just.
Plus, you know, who wants to go out into the shed when it's all cold and all that stuff? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to be going through. You see, like the odd spider. I mean, spiders don't bother me, but I'm like, you know, you might see some slug or something, and that would bother me.
And you might end up shipping out a spider. You never.
Yeah, you could. That would be bad, exactly. Because I don't mind spiders, but if someone that I'm sending stuff to does, you know, that would be bad. But yeah, Chernok says a Z shed, but yeah, we've got a shed there. And Georgina, yeah, we do have a loft, but it's actually Hannah's bedroom.
There's ads.
Hi, ads.
Hey, ads.
This makes my day.
I know.
You can tell it's the morning for you guys, though, especially Tommy, because Tommy is just like really like kind of sedate, like chilled out.
I know.
Like you're getting going. You're working your way up.
We were up late. We were up late last night, later than we normally would. Trying to promote Brad's, like, you know, stuff. And
hopefully we'll talk about that later as well. I've done the schedule of our chat and put the links in and stuff. So hopefully we'll talk about that as well. That would be good.
Are you doing a show this afternoon?
This evening.
I'm sorry. This afternoon for us, evening for you.
Yeah, the Friday chin wag.
The chin wag, the chin flap.
I can actually show. Like, I've I've decided on one of the things I'm gonna be auctioning off. I've got like a sealed Final Fantasy 7
Nice.
PS1. So
Nice.
It's a platinum, not a black label.
Is it
So-
PAL?
Yeah, it's PAL. It's PAL.
Well, that's good though,
so
because all the UK
yeah.
people and everything.
UK big people, and I think the Australians can bid on it as well. And plus,
Yeah.
it will be like internationally, it shouldn't be too bad to ship as well, lightweight and
That's
stuff.
what we're struggling with
so-
because we don't. There's going to be much more of a market in the UK and Australia than there is here to find something that's.
You have to find something that's reasonable. I mean, like I know that they've said that obviously the buyers can pay for shipping, but if it's a lot of shipping as well, then it's
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
it's one of those things. Eric says here wouldn't listen to Tommy. What for 2 hours without changing?
Hey, Tiffany.
Very funny, Eric. I did change the title. Anyway, it still hasn't sold.
Well, we were
I'm
thinking
keep-
last night. Kent Daigle came up with an idea. Maybe you should auction the Bentley jacket off.
I could, but now it's like a personal vendetta. Like, I'm sure I'd rather.
It's something.
It's personal now, you know. I need to prove to myself that I can sell the damn thing.
You
'Cause
can.
I don't know now, Tracy.
I think.
I don't know. I've
I
been
think-
trying,
I
but
think.
it's personal now. I can't let it go. It's you know.
We dropped the price to like nothing to get rid of it now.
No. I'm gonna sell it for good money. That is it. I'm gonna sell it for good money.
Yeah.
I was thinking of, I don't know what else, but I was thinking of something else, but I've got to decide what else.
It's
But
hard
I
to
think-
decide. It really.
It
kind of
is, yeah, because I'm like, but I thought the Final Fantasy thing is good because, again, it's something that people like.
It's easy to
and
ship. Yeah.
it's video games, and plus I was thinking, again, it was one of those other things that I thought I would be able to sell, but I haven't been able to sell, you know, and I thought, you know, I'm just gonna end up, just donating it.
Z for Vendetta.
Hi, Veronica.
Yes, it's personal, Jasmine. It is personal. It is yeah.
Todd's here, but he's only got 2 minutes. He's the same in the morning as he is in the evening. He must sleep all
He's
day.
the busiest person that has nothing to do I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, Todd. Todd's fantastic.
He is. He's everywhere. He's international.
Has been for a long time. Yeah, he went
So
international before we did. Shit.
So, what are your guys' plans for the rest of the day?
Ads, if you want to come in and talk about it, I sent you the link.
The rest of the day, I have to ship 6 things and take a nap, and then go to, and then have dinner.
Sounds good. Sounds like a good Friday.
Yep.
Definitely. Did you not sleep at all?
I did like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
It's not good for you.
It's
Tommy.
not. It's not.
I'm glad you're realizing it.
Oh, I have always realized it. It's just my mind doesn't shut off. It's so bizarre. It drives me nuts.
Doesn't the missus get mad at you?
No, she don't.
Well,
She'd rather me not sleep with her.
No.
I mean, I so snore and sound like a wildebeest. You know what I mean?
So I snore as well.
I think
So back silently would rather you not sleep as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I feel sometimes I get
used to what
punched.
you do, you know, you get into your groove, and whatever, if it's good or bad for you, you're just used to it, and that's the way it goes down.
And plus, I just work better at night. Everyone's asleep. There's no interruptions. There's no, you know, it's just.
I think I'm trying to have a more regular sleep pattern because I've noticed I've been like, do you ever fall asleep in your chair?
All the time.
Yeah, and I do that, and I
Best
think that's
sleep
really
best
bad.
sleep. I love it.
Yeah, but it's really bad. No, it's not good sleep. How's that good sleep?
I mean, anytime you wake up like this, it's like.
No, it's not good sleep. That's bad sleep. And, you know,
Yeah. Well,
It's just relaxing.
I don't know. You'd have to have a full-time massage therapist.
oh, thank you, honey.
Yeah. Oh, what is she bringing us?
Chicken
Hi,
burger.
Beck.
Is that back?
Chicken burger. Yeah, back. She's gone already. She's gone. Come say hi.
Ran. She just ran.
Oh, we love
Come say
that.
hi.
He's always saying
She's got a Hard Rock what? Where's that? Is
Hard
that
Rock Orlando.
Orlando. How'd you
We've
get
never
that?
been.
I've
We've
never
never.
been.
Yeah.
I've got a jacket you can have. It's not selling. It was a bad buy from 2 years ago.
She can't hear you guys though, because she's
Oh, okay.
yeah, because I'm going through the earphones to stop any
So we can cuss her out right now.
You can cuss her out if you want. Yeah, definitely.
She might smash you with the chicken burger. Is she watching it all?
She's watching. She'll be watching. Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how's your freezer space coming along?
Yeah, we're working our way through it. The kids are getting a bit tired. It's understandable. It was a bad decision in hindsight, but at the time I thought,
So here it's normal. It happens to me all the time.
But I'm like a grown. I thought to myself, I'm a grown man. Like, did I really just buy 64 burgers? I did.
I must have think it was a good deal. That's why you did it.
No, it was just what they sell them for normally.
You were hungry. Okay, first rule: do not go to the store hungry.
It wasn't a store though. It was like like a wholesaler. It's like a food, like a Costco type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the catering section. Because then you get the stuff that they sell you in hotels and stuff anyway. So if you get you can get much better quality kind of items.
Go ahead, be like Bentley. Probably. Thank you.
What so you're not buying your burgers from Aldi like Andrew?
No.
They're garbage.
No, I mean I wouldn't say they're.
Here they are.
Any ready-made burger is not going to be great, is it?
Yeah.
No, we've got some really good ones here, actually.
Ready-made? Really?
Yeah, because over the summer I just started buying
I just buy 20.
No,
I just buy 20% fat mince, and then I've got like a press. And I make my own.
Right. No, of course that's best, but my boys love the pre-made because they can just
But we get good ones, but only from like wholesale, because obviously wholesale they're charging you like £8 for a burger in a pub, so it's got to be half decent. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
you guys have Costco over there? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we have Costco, but this isn't Costco that I went to. This is it was called Macro, but like it used to be Booker's Cash and Carry. But anyway, like you go there and that's where like the local restaurants and pubs and whatever will go to buy their portions. So obviously they're not designed to be consumed in a home environment, but I like to buck the trend.
Yeah. Do you have Sam's Club too, or just Costco?
No, I don't think we've got Sam's Club unless it's here under a different.
It's owned by Walmart. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Andrew said there's a different company there that Walmart owns.
Well, Walmart owns Asda in the UK,
yeah,
but Asda is just a regular supermarket, so it's not. Yeah, it's not like a wholesale type thing.
Interesting.
Yeah,
we've got our own. Here? Hey, BCP, there's our buddy.
Hey, BCP. Yeah, Costco cakes are awesome, says Tat Doctor. Just like, and the desserts as well, because you can get like macaroons, and you can get you can get all and the cheesecakes are big because they're obviously designed to be in like a hotel setting. Everything's just a good sized portion.
I got a serious question.
Yeah.
Does food at home that you cook yourself ever taste as good as food you eat out?
It tastes better.
Does it?
Yeah, I cook. No, but I cook well, and Beck's decent as well.
See, I don't like my own cooking. Like even
really?
though
no, my cooking is awesome.
I just feel like I've always done something wrong, and it's in my head.
I think the only time you feel like that though, Tommy, is when you try to recreate something that you've eaten outside. So for example, if you're eating, like, I quickly realized I could never, like, obviously I like my burgers, right? And I like burgers from a kebab shop. Now their burgers, and then I was going and buying really good mince and seasoning it and cooking it on the barbecue and everything, and it was really tasty in its own right. But because it wasn't replicating, and I'd go and get the sauce as well, I'd get their chili sauce and everything to try to recreate it. But because it was brilliant in its own right, it's proper fresh beef mince and the right amount of fat and everything, cooked perfectly. And it tasted really good, but it didn't taste like I wanted it, so it kind of felt wrong. And then I figured out where they get their burgers from at wholesale, and now my burgers taste like theirs.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the times it's because restaurants add so much fat and butter, and you don't do that at home because you can see how horrible it is for you, where that you can't see what they're doing, so it makes it okay. But I would always take home cooking over eating out.
Lisa wants your curry recipe, a couple of pickers. She can't make a decent curry to save her life.
I don't really have a recipe. I mix and match things, but I have the good idea of, I'm like that rat from Ratatouille. You can tell the flavors, what flavors go good together.
You just start dousing things in there.
No, not just randomly. I have in my mind, I have an idea.
And Georgina says as long as there's an alcohol aisle, she likes it.
Well, the alcohol aisle is substantial, and again, you can buy
BCP,
bulk.
you're having a really bad day. What?
Why?
What is wrong, buddy? Come in here and talk to us.
Yeah.
We'll make you smile.
You need a chocolate bar.
Maybe it's a toothache and you don't want a chocolate bar.
Oh, that's true. Depends what your bad day's all about.
Well, you can eat on the other side.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's what. Yeah.
Do you ever go to it and you're like, wow, the jaw on this side is really like working, getting muscular.
It's like really strong. So.
I know. Start eating on that side.
I hope BCP's. I hope we can make him cheer him up a little.
And this is the trick right there. Chris is on it. If you're making chicken and you want it to taste like a restaurant, you better brine that baby.
Yeah. What does that mean, brine?
That means you make a very salty solution of water with herbs and salts and peppercorns and things that will infuse, and you let it sit in the fridge in that liquid for 24 hours or more, and it basically goes within.
It breaks down the fibers,
and then it comes back out of the meat. Like you have to leave it in long enough for it to have the whole process, and then when you cook it, it's the juiciest chicken ever. Yep. And
I want to cook a brisket at some point. I've never cooked a brisket. That's my aim.
See, that's the one thing I don't like to cook. I just will go out for it because there are some very professional barbecuers here.
I don't have anything like that. Honest, can you imagine if someone came over and started that up here?
Oh my God, it would just be.
I mean, there are some barbecue places in London, but up here, I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, and it's probably not quite the same.
No, it probably won't be. Shazad says, I thought this was a reseller channel.
I know. Hey, Valerie, how many notes have you taken so far about chicken burgers and stuff?
Exactly. The cherry picker makes a good point. You need to eat to be able to source and list. Yeah, we're talking about the sustenance part of what we do. Yeah. I know. Actually, we might have to release an ebook on reseller breakfast, the perfect breakfast to start your day.
Yeah.
I think we're failures at sticking to what we say we're going to do anyway.
I don't mind that though.
We say we're going to do something, and as far as a topic or whatever, and we fail miserably.
What was today's chat meant to be about?
I really do want to get something out of the way here because I got a question on the last live in the morning, and I thought we should all give our opinions of this question. And it is, what motivates you to be your own boss? I have a hard time stepping out of my comfort zone, so I just work 40 hours a week. That's what this.
Watching ZAHEER buy 64 burgers.
Yeah. Oh, yum.
And eat them. Is that a good chicken burger? I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see the quality of meat we're looking at here.
I want to see the bun. Okay.
All right. I feel you.
Okay.
I love lying to myself. Chicken sunshine.
Well, my whole motivation is I won't have anyone else as a boss. That's it. That's all it breaks down to, for real. Like, there's no way I will call somebody a boss ever again unless I have to.
Oh, and Georgina says daily McDonald's. She couldn't go to McDonald's for breakfast every morning if she had a boss.
I think booking holidays has got to be good motivation.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know this is shameful, but our kids have never been abroad. Well,
Hannah had a daughter that came here.
Yeah, Hannah has. Hannah's the only one. She went with the school, and that was, she was 16, and her first holiday was without us, which kind of sucks. But
I'm gonna tell you, I would have been petrified. I don't know how you did that. I would have been freaking out. You want them to do it. You want them to be happy, but
yeah. Well, I mean, she wanted to, and she's quite determined like that. So yeah, she went with her school to New York, and that's it. And we've just gotten our younger daughter's passport, or we've just sent off for it. So we're like finally going to be able to book a holiday, and that's going to be just. I'm just excited. Like, I don't care what it is. It could just be a weekend somewhere in Spain or something. I don't care. It would just be nice to finally go away as a family. And so I just want to put that out there, because it just shows that it's not this reselling thing. It's not easy. It's not necessarily going to be a hit the ground running type thing, but your motivation, I suppose, comes from what your life has been like before. Like I've said this previously, where if I'd been in a good job, I'm not sure I would have even looked at reselling. But luckily or unluckily, however you want to look at it, I've never been in a well-paid job. So I thought, well, life kind of sucks for me financially and stuff anyway. What have I got to lose? So, if I'm going to get paid badly working for someone else, I can just pay myself badly and not have to take that. So my luck is, I didn't have to achieve much. Like when you're not earning a lot, you don't have to achieve a lot. So I feel I can understand why some people might be more apprehensive. Say if you're earning like 50 grand a year or 40 grand a year or even 30 grand a year, you're going to really have to have a decent business to make that after all profit reselling, bearing in mind you've got to then reinvest stock and to be able to recreate it next year. Whereas like when you work for someone, you get that guaranteed income year after year after year as long as you've got the job. Whereas with reselling, you might have one good year, but you still have to then take some money out of that so you can recreate that or better the next year. So I feel kind of that must be tough for people. Whereas for me, because my wages were always so terrible, like it's always been an improvement anyway. So that's just my perspective. But there we go.
And the thing is, like, I saw Veronica say, when you figure it out, let me know. I walked away from a job people just think I'm an idiot for. Like, every day I get told how big of an idiot I am by family, friends, wife. The wife's supportive, very, very, very supportive. But she knows how it affects me. And it's scary. It's scary because we don't have, not taking anything away from the UK because you're still self-employed, but we don't have a healthcare system. That's the biggest thing. That's the hardest difference. I think, I'm not saying it's easier in other ways, but being able to just be self-employed and having healthcare in the UK is huge.
It sucks here. It's always going to suck here.
It's huge. It's huge. Like, it's like $1,500 a month for me to buy healthcare.
It's horrible. And that's cheap. That's on the cheap, honestly, for a family.
Think about it. I mean, another, like, for you, it would probably be half of that because of the money difference. But think about another $750 a month you'd have to pay out every month for healthcare. Would you be able to do this? No. It's
well, and not only that, like, I think my health is $850 a month, and we haven't even met our, we didn't meet our deductible.
Right. And you got to have like a $5,000 deductible or something.
I just have a stack of bills sitting here, that I still have to pay on top of that $850 extra a month.
I think also I want to add that things have got, if you look at the working environment, since globalization, and I know this sounds a bit like, but since globalization and like since like multinational companies are coming and going and operating in different countries, generally employment is not as good as it was in terms of stability, in terms of what you're paid, because obviously you're in this global market where wages like, they don't have to be, there's so much demand for the work out there that, even if you're a professional, you're still going to be in a competitive market fighting to be employed, like, because they want to obviously companies want to pay as little as possible. And also, like, in the UK as well, they've done things like started to move our pensions, our state pension that you get when you retire is so paltry, they may as well not pay you it. I mean, like, honestly, like 70 odd, 80 odd pounds a week is not going to get you anything. Like, no matter how much of your, like, no matter how much. Exactly. And then on top of that, there's kind of pushing forward like retirement age, and also the good pension schemes that there were back in the 80s or 90s, they're non-existent now. so then they don't offer nearly the same features that they used to offer. So whereas it might be worthwhile for some people to look forward to retirement, for most people it's not worthwhile at all. And then on top of that, the other side of it is I think people are becoming a lot more aware of like the health implications. Like because people are so stretched, families now can't look after their elderly relatives. So if you were someone that's about to become a grandparent or you're about to get into that stage of life, you might be sitting there and thinking, hey, if I retire and my kids can't look after me or something and I end up in a home, that's gonna suck. And so people are working to keep active mentally as well and keep. So I think there's a lot of different things that have happened which have made working for yourself, especially I'd say especially as you get older. I'd say like the older you get and the closer you get to like retirement age, I'd say probably the better it is for you to work for yourself. When you're younger it's different, you can work for someone and take crap or whatever, but I think it's just how it feels.
Reselling is good for that. When I first started my channel, I was just opening up some jewelry bags, and I had several ladies reach out to me that are bedridden and older, and that's why they resell and craft and sell on Etsy, and because they can do it from bed, and they just purchase from people that are opening jewelry online. They see what they want, they can buy it, and they can resell it through their avenues. So I think reselling is great for the older community.
What Tim asked, what is the federal tax rate for the UK roughly?
Okay, we have like a tax allowance up to around £12,000. So the first £12,000 you don't pay anything, and then I think from 12 to like 40 something, there's a 20% income tax. So we have income tax, and then we have national insurance. So national insurance is what pays for our NHS. So you pay 20% income tax and you pay around 3% for your national insurance. And then if you go above the 40 something barrier into the higher earning, so anything you then earn above 40 plus thousand or whatever, I can't remember the exact number it is. I think it's like 47,000 or something. I can't be 100% sure. Then your income tax on that amount will go up to, I think it's like 40%. So
they actually tax the rich higher than they do the middle class.
Yes.
That's good.
It's so backwards of the U.S., isn't it? Like total opposite. See, our rich don't get taxed at all. They hide behind businesses, and they don't.
I think it's similar here. I mean, like, especially if you're self-employed, there's a lot of I think there's a lot of ways to not have to pay as much tax. I think like it's a lot easier to not pay as much. Whereas if you're working for someone, then it's bam, pay. They just take the percentage done. Whereas obviously when you've got a business and you've got things like expenses and costs or whatever, they're always talking about like I think the tax evasion is the one that can get you in trouble, or is it? No, I can't remember. There's like an evasion and then there's avoidance. I don't know. It's just, you can just. I think working for yourself generally works out better, doesn't it? I think generally, when it comes to paying tax.
Back to healthcare, though, here's a difference that you guys never see because you have such good healthcare. We'll just go back to my colonoscopy because we just love to revisit that. The bill that came to me just for the procedure portion of this was over $5,000. My insurance was supposed to cover it, and the way that they coded it as a screening rather than a necessity, which was coded wrong, they charged me that amount. And so I had to call them, and when they found out the insurance wasn't covering it, they go, oh, well, that's what we charge the insurance company is $5,000. If you're out of pocket pay, it's $1,000. So there's a $4,000 difference in what out of pocket is and what they charge the insurance company, which is where the disconnect lies. That
is a stress that you couldn't, like, I can't imagine. I mean, I think like also it's things like I can't imagine having to pay to like deliver a baby.
I spent over $30,000.
I know, like that's mind-boggling. I mean, that's in a way that's some kind of state birth control. I mean, like,
No, it's not, because
what?
if you don't make money. My
Yeah.
sister was pregnant at the same time as me with our first children, and she had totally different circumstances. We made decent money and were contributing to taxes. She was 18, wasn't married, didn't have a good job. Hers was free.
Oh, okay. So,
So
well, I mean, I think
the
that's
person that's contributing
gets
the
charged.
taxes gets overly charged. That's how that typically works, So nothing's fair here, really. Hi, Kirsten.
Oh yeah, it's different. It's so different. It's a different world. I wish everyone here moans about socialize, socialize, socialize. It's so ridiculous. Like they just. I try to tell them I know so many people in the UK and so many more now. They're tickled to death to have the NHS, especially if they know exactly what ours is. Like what ours is about. Like if they don't know what the US is like, then they just they're.
I think this is really interesting because unfortunately, like obviously, we've got context here. Like speaking to you guys, I know you haven't got an agenda or obviously there will be some level of political bias just naturally ingrained. But like it's interesting to talk to you guys because you guys can see from the outside how good the NHS is, but here, like at the moment, you would think it's just literally falling to pieces and completely just terrible. And that is because currently we are under what I would call like a sustained campaign of making it look terrible so that they can start privatizing it and chunking it off, because they want to show that they want to tell people it's not working. If you ask the average person here, they will say, oh, the NHS is terrible. They won't see the benefits that, okay, you might have to wait 3 weeks for a doctor's appointment, but it's free. You're only going to have to pay £7 for your prescription, and your prescription could be worth hundreds or thousands. They'll ignore that part of it, and also the fact that if you've got an emergency, you will be seen quickly. It's just people will ring up. Like obviously I can't go into like detail because like it's private and stuff, but Beck works obviously in the doctor's surgery, and people that complain about not being able to see the doctor, some of them complain for things that you wish you could cause them injury so that it could be worthwhile them seeing the doctor.
Right.
Because you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like
there's always the most complainers anyway.
Yeah. It's and of course there's always room for like improvement and stuff, but the way it's being like it's getting a lot of bad press consistently getting just dogged on and how bad it's doing, which is kind of okay, it's not doing as well as it could be, but it's not as bad as people are making out. And the reason why they're doing this is like with anything, they want to set it up for like a fall, as it were, because obviously if you can prove and if you can convince people that it's terrible and it's not working as it is, you then have the reason to change it for the better or whatever. And I just that's how I feel.
Yeah, but I mean the thing about it is you say that like it takes 3 weeks here or 3 weeks there to see a doctor. It's every bit of that, if not longer here, even with private.
If you called today and needed to make a wellness check or anything, you have a cold or something, you're still gonna wait.
Dentists can be 6 months, 8 months. I mean, you just we have I know in Delaware we have one dentist for every 8,000 people roughly. Or in my area, and I think it's probably nationwide pretty bad, just based on what I hear, because everyone talks about the dentist being just totally jammed.
Yeah, it's a contentious topic here because it's very. The NHS it's like it's often called like a national institution, and it's a something that is a very contentious topic, and it's always used during elections and whatnot, and it's one of those things where, just like it is over in the States where like it's fought over. But I've got to say, from speaking to you guys and the way health is treated like a commodity or an asset like anything else is just, I think it's kind of really wrong. I mean, it's just it's morally just for a Western country, for a superpower, it's kind of it's embarrassing.
It is
I would say it's embarrassing. It's like you can't. I don't think you can call yourself that civilized.
no.
But
Well,
I'm not saying you guys personally,
no,
obviously.
but
But
it's true. The fact that if I,
yeah.
like some of us humans, know what type of specialist we might need to see. Let's say I have one kidney. If I feel like I have a kidney infection coming on, I need to get on top of that fast. It's only one. So I would want to go see a nephrologist, right? Well, to go see a nephrologist, I have to go see a general practitioner first to tell me that I need to go to a nephrologist and checked out. Like I had to spend that extra money because our government wants us to have somebody tell us where to go.
No, and that's and then the thing about it is it's all they're all in cahoots. Like they're all in cahoots. You know, our whole government is built on lobbying, and that's the whole fact
The
of the matter.
pharmaceuticals back.
It's the same here, to be fair. Obviously we don't have to pay, so we have to see a general. If you first suspect you're ill, you go to see your GP or general practitioner, and then if necessary, they refer you to the relevant specialist. But the difference is obviously there's no direct money being changed between the patient and the system. Obviously there's plenty of money being changed behind doors or whatever, because I'm guessing all that stuff isn't free, but it's it's definitely something you have to take into consideration. And when bringing it back to working for yourself as a reseller or a self-employed person, that is definitely something that you'd have to think about so hard over there versus it's not even an issue over here.
How does the NHS deal with like mental health issues?
Again, it gets a lot of negative press, but there are services for.
Send you Money Mental UK.
yeah. He's the official
insider.
yeah. So they do have services, but it is again, it's depending. I mean, I touch wood, I've not had to use it, so it's difficult for me to actually say whether it's good or bad or whatever. But at the moment, it's hard to know what to believe, like what part of the NHS is broken or what's not. But there are definitely services available. But how good they are, from what I've heard, though, you can be waiting a long time to see people for those services. I mean, it can be like I've heard of, again, you hear stories, I don't know, but you hear like 8 weeks and then it gets delayed and that kind of stuff.
But I'm sure it's different too. Like in different parts of your country, you probably have different demands and weights depending on population and things like that, correct? Like you say, where you're at, you may not, because the population's smaller, you may not be as long of a wait as in, say, London, or is it totally opposite because there's more doctors in London?
I would say it's difficult to say. We have like a national, for example, if you go to A&E, there's like a national target that all hospitals are meant to aim for. That if you go to accident and emergency, you should be seen within 4 hours. So that's like a national target. So you can make of that what you will. In terms of like doctors, there's a shortage of doctors, nurses, police, everything. It's just
Well, here's how bad it is here. Like, so just what was it, last week, or it's within a week anyway, because my days run together. The wife got a call and her grandfather was going in an ambulance to the hospital, right? And he's diabetic and he couldn't breathe. His blood sugar was way up, and we're an hour away. So we hop in the car and I drive her there, or she drive. We go there, and so because I have to take the baby, and so she can go see her grandfather. Well, we get to the hospital, the emergency room. He's sitting in a wheelchair in the emergency room, and just sitting in there in an ambulance ride. He couldn't tell us what had been done. No one could tell us what has happened. He was just sitting there for over an hour, and she's like, well, what's going on? We don't have a bed. We don't have any way to treat him. So they literally, he couldn't breathe. His blood sugar was like 300. I don't know if that's high or low or what. He was just sitting there for over an hour while we got there. And then so we drove him to another hospital, and then we get him there. They take his clothes off, and he had already had blood drawn, an EKG, stuff already pre-treated. And they couldn't tell us this. They had no idea. They couldn't tell him this. He couldn't tell us this because he was out of it.
Right.
So it's so bizarre how that can happen in a first world country hospital. Like,
Yeah. I mean, as Jasmine said, it's not all straightforward here either. There are issues with the service, but they're more service issues. At least there's not. I mean, it seems like you guys have got service issues just like we have, but then that's layered on top of having to pay for it. I mean, I think Georgina said that she ended up paying for private help as the wait was so long. So you know, and you know, in a serious situation. So
right. I'm gonna stop and say thank you over the years for the 1999 super chat.
Does he realize this isn't my channel?
I know.
that's probably why. Tommy.
I think he realized you don't have the same type of cleavage. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
I so appreciate it. And anyone, Tim is, I think he just started his channel recently, so you can go check him out.
Let me ask you, is that more than you made on eBay today?
No.
Right.
Thank God I had a couple sales this morning. It's more than I made on eBay 2 days ago, though.
That's all.
Yeah.
eBay is actually doing okay.
Mine kind of woke up this morning. I actually have I love it, Christmas sales. Like, I sold a Christmas decor item again this morning. I love that. GoFundMe, Tommy needs breasts. No, that's really incredible tip. Thank you. And for you people that like bearded men, there you go. That's him. Hey, Kent, how are you? There. Wade. No, what was like? Oh, so how did that end up? Like, did the second hospital you took the grandfather to? I mean, because sometimes it's just hospital differences.
Well, most of our hospitals here, you go there to die, not get better. So
exactly,
you don't. I mean, honestly, that it's sad to say, but they don't have an interest in keeping older people healthy. They have an interest of getting them off the healthcare system. You
have an ambulance come and pick you up. They have communication with the emergency rooms. Don't you think they could have contacted and saw who had a bed available? You know, I mean, back in the day, I was young, maybe 20 years old. I went to the emergency room and I sat there for hours and hours without anybody seeing me. They had registered me in to, the emergency room, but that's as far as it got. And the old man sitting next to me was like, I can die at home. I can go, let me out of here. I finally left. I go, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to be fine. I'm leaving. They said, okay, well, we're going to charge you $100 for the registration fee. They wanted to charge me, and nobody had saw me or done anything, touched me at all.
Yeah, that's just the weirdest thing. Just hearing you talk about stuff like that, like $100, just like that, that's a lot of money.
On a computer, $100. Yeah.
That's so much money. It's just.
Yeah.
I know this isn't reselling talk, but it is based on reselling because
it is, because it's a massive factor that you've got to think about. Are you gonna, what are you gonna do for healthcare?
Well, Val Milk says she's already full time. She don't got a choice, so she wants to learn.
I think in other ways though, it does make you then just think like that. The other side of it is like lifestyle and reselling is something you do have to kind of learn. Like, I've definitely not done very well reselling with as far as my health has gone. I've just gotten fatter and fatter. I do need to stop it, but that's an important thing. It kind of leads on to it. So obviously you want to keep yourself as healthy as possible so you can prevent having to rely on hospitals and surgeries, but doing that is not easy when you're at home all day. That's another thing you have to think about. How disciplined are you going to be? Are you going to actually have some kind of control over how often you go into the kitchen? I mean, things like that. It's because it's there. It's constantly there. When you work obviously in an office environment or whatever, you only go to eat when it's your lunch break, and that's it. When you're at home, when you're working away, you can have as many breaks as you want, and for as long as you want.
Why don't you come on and tell us about it, Shazad?
eBay is
Hire
back.
more employees. You're gonna have to get more shop collars if you hire more employees.
Ken's 6-figure surgery is an everyday occurrence in the U.S. That is true. True.
Yeah. At the very least here, like, you could get by with just having, what is it called? I can't think of the name now, when it's just for like serious illness. Why can't I think of the name of that? Where it's for cancer care, or it'll be for a heart attack, but not for your daily. Huh?
You talking about like for older people, like Medicare and Medicaid and stuff?
No. God, why can't somebody tell me what's the name of this insurance? That it's just really for the emergencies, not for your daily health care. There's a name for it, and it's escaping my mind.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a lot cheaper, obviously, because
You mean there's something you can get for like that as a self-employed?
Yeah, as anything, yes.
So I would just pay for my regular doctor visits and stuff out of pocket.
Yeah, and it'll come to me as soon as we shut down. I talk about it all the time with my husband because we're going to switch to it, and I just cannot think of it. And none of those things so far are what it is.
Major medical? No.
No.
I don't know. Hey, David, car boot picker. How you doing? Good to see you.
Catastrophic. Thank you, Susie. Catastrophic healthcare. Thank you.
I think I'm under that now.
You're under a catastrophic
My
life.
scale says it's catastrophic when I stand on it in the morning.
Well, and that was another thing. I want to join a gym again, and these things never work out. I'll go for 6 months and then quit like everyone else does. But my husband goes, "Well, when are you going to do that? Like, and I can't even like pinpoint a time frame of when I want to, when I could go to the gym and still get everything else done, because once you factor in getting there, working out, showering, getting back, you've eaten up quite a few hours of your day right there. And mine that I want to go to is right next to the Goodwill, so we got to factor in at least another hour, but that's at least work, right? Which is why I would choose that one, because it's next to the Goodwill. It would motivate me to source more.
We have with like Medicare or Medicaid, whatever is Medicare, right? For elderly, isn't that what it's called?
I get them mixed up.
Yeah, I think it's Medicare, and Medicaid is for the low income people. I'm pretty sure, but and it's just a basic. You got to have supplements. It's a rigmarole too. If you're sick, trust me, they just want hospice to come in and put you down. They don't want you to live.
Yeah.
They don't want you on the system. Like every person I know, family, once you get pneumonia in your 60s or 70s, they want hospice to start coming in and shooting you up with morphine.
I mean, once hospice is involved, you're already dying. I mean,
hospice just kills you off easily. They just shoot you. They increase your morphine dose.
I wish they could do it better, honestly, because with my mom, I was like, do what you have to do. Like, please just do it. And they can't, but you want it to go fast at that point. You don't want to be on hospice for more than a few weeks, honestly. Do you have anything like that in the UK which helps people die more comfortably?
Yeah, hospices. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have hospices. So end of life care and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, we're really excited. Okay, let's switch this baby up because now it's just getting depressing.
Yeah, I think Val Nope left already.
I know.
She threw her notepad in the furnace, and she's gone.
But the true answer is there isn't a clear answer of what you do as a reseller for healthcare. There just isn't.
Move to the UK.
Stay healthy is what you can do to help. That's it.
Move to the UK. Yeah.
And I don't know a reseller that's gotten healthier since they started reselling. Because
I think you can. I think you can be though. I think like, do you know what? I always notice that when you look at like really successful people, they also tend to be really healthy in the main. They tend to be active. They, like it's very much like all or nothing.
Well, yeah. Or
have you noticed that? Like you don't.
Well, also,
Pardon?
if you're looking in the celebrity realm of success, it could be the opposite too. Like they're either really healthy or they're very drug addicted. It's one of the two.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm talking more. Even if you look at like business, for example, or look at someone like Richard Branson, or look at someone like Jeff Bezos, or look at someone like Bill Gates, or none of those guys are like morbidly obese or anything. They're all healthy. They all eat healthy. You look at it, and it kind of all kind of seems to work that way. I don't know. And sometimes I think to myself, like, hell, I can't even look after my own body. I can't. Am I serious that I can look after a business? I can look after anything else? I bought 64 burgers the other day. I mean, that's where I'm at.
Well, it wasn't 64 cupcakes. It was burgers. So at least it's,
It was protein. Yeah. But like, I just feel that I think sometimes there is like an all or nothing type of mentality, and you notice that like people that I aspire to, definitely you see that they seem to be able to fit in lots in their day as well. They seem to have that energy. They seem to have
because they have assistants.
Yeah, well, maybe whatever the reason is, but like you said, some people will have that assistance and then just use it to get their assistants to buy them drugs. I mean, it's not, depends what you ask your assistants to do.
This is very true.
So, but I just feel like that. I think there's definitely something to it. You just have it all goes together. Like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Your health and your success.
Cooperate with the government. That's why he's no longer here.
Oh yeah, that was tragic. Yeah.
He didn't let them in the back door of Apple.
Well, that goes against everything I just said, isn't it? He was successful and did well.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah. Jobs in need for not going to the doctors early. Yeah. Well. So. All right. So how about shipping? How do you list on eBay?
Let's build a title.
Velma was supposed to have questions for us. She told me she was going to have questions, and I haven't seen one yet.
Mm-mm. Well, I think she saw the direction we were headed.
She just threw it out the window.
Now's not the time.
Yeah, I think like we need to.
Let me just refresh my.
You guys need to make an executive decision about the direction of the show moving forward.
Let me just share my posh closet and download.
Yeah, this was too serious.
This isn't our normal show, is it?
We don't know what we're doing.
Oh God.
I don't know.
What should I buy to sell on eBay? And, well, we have if we were on my channel, I would give you a knowledge bomb, but we're not.
I can't do it.
Anything that you can buy cheap and sell high, right? So here, that's the only thing.
Pretty much.
How are your ponchos going?
I've not got any ponchos for sale. And that was merely a statement of like,
Yeah, I know.
That was a fashion statement. I thought I'd.
That was hilarious, though. Those were some of the best weeks of my life.
I know.
This may be the most important video you ever watch.
Georgina says, I like the new Tommy and Tracy. There you
go. We don't know who we are. What?
Yeah.
Hi, Peter. Hi, David, if I didn't say hi.
I hate that I can't see how many people are in here.
Oh my God, the truth found you. Free back from being wide awake.
Oh God.
How'd you find it?
Beck's fine, man.
Beck's
What's the truth's real name? I can't remember.
Find out that it's Beck.
Doug?
Yeah.
Leroy?
66.
There we go. Okay. Jeez.
What are you looking for? The number watching?
Yeah, I don't know why I can't see it in here. I thought you could see it as a guest. No?
They used to, and they took it away. Now it's only the host that can see it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
but
I wasn't
Yeah,
prepared.
63 people watching. Yeah.
I thought y'all were gonna do this once a week, so I thought I had more time.
So how many days of like a week are you going live during the mornings? How many?
We're gonna shoot for 2, I think. I think that's all we can handle. 2 mornings, 2 nights. That's 4
Yeah,
times a week.
That is.
hmm And I'd like to start, putting some pre-recorded stuff out again. I haven't done that in a while.
unless people get tired of us, if we see the numbers drop, then we'll have to adjust.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've never had this set in stone anyway, so it was just something we wanted to try to do. I think it was more to see if
How many viewers are you guys getting in your night shows?
about this.
Depends on the day. It just totally depends on the day.
Yeah.
Sundays are killer.
Yeah.
And Thursdays seem to be usually good, but last night it was really slim. I don't know
Yeah.
if it was because I advertised it as for the talking about the Australian relief or what, or because it was like way low than it normally is. Like it was really weird. Because we have some people that just can't handle looking.
Ken says depends on Krillin's stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really very good about leaving when he needs to. Like
He's good. Yeah, Rob's got a great sense of humor.
He
He
really
does.
does.
He does. He knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah,
I mean, he's
a-
like Shazad. He loves to tell you how wrong you are all the time.
yeah. Well, the thing is, though, the problem is he's actually right. So when he's telling you, he's not telling you from,
How are you listing the Wii's?
Oh God, I don't know yet.
That was on you yesterday.
I think I may list them properly. Like
So
I
now-
may even send them to Amazon. I
Like,
may even.
they're terrible to put them together and list as a whole.
Are
like,
they?
Yeah, but so if you take a Wii here and you break it down, like just the console's like $25, just the console, nothing else. Then the controllers are like $14 each. Then the power pack's like $15, and then you can break a Wii down. You can buy it for 20 and get 100 out of it roughly, or 75, whatever you want to do. And then you can make multi-listings because you got 10 of them, right? So
Yeah.
is that possible in the UK, or is that just us?
Yeah, I mean, people sell the individual parts, definitely. People sell just the power supply separately and
you
whatnot.
had a lot of accessories too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got so many controllers. I mean, like the Wiimotes sell for decent money, especially if you've got the little motion sensor add-on bit.
Yeah, like the Wii Motion, like the ones
Yeah.
with Wii Motion built in, they go for way more than.
Or even if the add-on, even ones with the add-on are not terrible. But yeah, I mean, from what I can see, someone got 25 quid plus shipping for a complete Wii.
Mhm.
But yeah, you can just get $12.99 for the power supply. You can get.
Didn't the sleeves zip off of that jacket? Yeah, pulled out the jacket too.
Bentley Jack, yeah.
No. That's the Star Trek jacket where the sleeves zip off.
Is there any interest on this Star Trek?
Out the jacket. Yes.
Maybe you could.
I've actually got 2 watches on the Star Trek jacket. Thank you very much.
Am I one? No, I didn't watch it. I'm kidding.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on a bargain price at the moment. If anyone wants to buy it, yeah. It's on sale.
What size was the Star Trek jacket?
I don't know.
Because you know who likes Star Trek is Drew. Look, Mom.
I already told him, and then he saw the price and he closed the window out as fast as he could.
It,
Um,
yeah, it might not be worth as much as I'm asking. Who knows?
look at Zahir. Look at Shazad.
Break them down. I don't know. I'm not being lazy. I want to do the right thing. I
That's
want
the
to do
right thing, then.
Is it?
I know some of that kind of stuff, and I can tell you that's the right thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the market there, though. I'm just saying the market here. He has to look at the market there. There may not be a market there for breaking it down. I have no idea.
You can get. I mean, someone managed to get $15.99 with free shipping for the mains. The mains charger.
Now, what
power
about the remotes? Like, what are they going?
The Wiimotes will go for good money, and I can make. Yeah, I mean, in a way, it would be easier. I mean, the console itself, I don't know how much that goes for. Console only.
Yeah,
console
we
only.
list them as like replacement console. Is how we list them.
Replacement
You
console. Okay.
literally need to go live later tonight and do the math, like compare it.
Yeah, I mean, I can get about the console's about £15 with free shipping, so not a lot, but
But 25 for the whole entire thing,
Hmm.
or 15 just for the console.
yeah, I mean exactly 15 for just for the console. You can get
25 for the whole entire thing. That don't even
Yeah.
make sense.
yeah,
So I mean, I would
yeah. I
definitely.
mean, part it all out. Yeah, yeah.
So-
I mean, there's no harm.
You didn't you have something like 10 of them?
I've got I've actually ended up with 11.
Wow.
11.
Of those, and then I've got.
Wow.
Do you know what I did also find? I found a Wii official component cable. If you don't know, the component cable is worth about £20 on its own, so
If you ever
that's not
find a
bad.
find a GameCube.
GameCube one, that's the money, isn't it? Yeah.
Or the original Xbox one. Oh,
So just because they have the name on it?
No, it's a certain cable, and because it's official. But like normally you'll find whenever you buy a bit of electronics or old school electronics, it'll come with that. That's called that's called composite video.
Yeah.
So you've got yellow, which is video, and then you have got red and white, which is sound. Now sometimes you might come across the same connectors, but one's red, green, and blue, and those aren't. And then they've got a separate red and white. So whereas basically this yellow cable is your complete video signal. On a component video cable, it actually splits the signal into red, green, and blue, so it's a much better quality signal. So component video basically is what you're looking for on older stuff. Yeah, so red, green, and blue, but it's got to be like official. The GameCube one, like Tommy says, they can sell for, I think they're reaching £200 now, and you look at it, it's just a cable, £200.
Or wasn't it something special? Like the GameCube didn't have digital built in or something, and it has its own microchip to convert it to digital or something.
Well, that's the most boring information I've heard all day.
Who said that?
DPG. Thanks, Leanne. Yeah. Let me just show you. Let me just show you it. Hold on.
Yeah, but if DBG found one of those cables because you told her about it, but it made £200, she wouldn't be mad, would she?
That's what I'm thinking.
This is the Wii version. So this is only worth about £20.
Okay.
But still, I mean, to the untrained eye, it's just a video game console cable.
The red, the blue.
So basically, those there are for the picture, and those are for the sound. So that's component video. So it splits it down basically. So yeah, definitely worth looking out for. So and you'll
not boring to Valamilk. Valamilk is boring to you.
And you'll see the Nintendo branding on that section. But yeah, like Tommy says, the older consoles worth even more. So component video worth money over composite video.
Yeah.
See,
cables are worth money. I mean,
cables are like, and
not just those hi-fi cables. Like when I go to car boot sales, there's often people there with boxes of random cables, and people will they don't value them and whatnot. And if you know a few brands, like just teach yourself some cable brands, and you'll be astonished at what you can pick up. Like, so
you see them all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you get, well, I mean, like like your standard RCA red and white stereo cable. So say you might find a cable which is like that at both ends, okay? Like that at both ends. You can buy those on eBay for like 99p or something, right? But if you get a cable just exactly the same, red and white or whatever, the stereo RCA cable, but made by a proper company, such as QED, Ixus, or Chord, or there's a bunch of companies out there, right? Like hi-fi companies that hi-fi buffs like to use. And if you find one by them, you can make lots and lots of money. I've sold stereo RCA cables that I've picked up for 50p for 20, 30, 40 quid before, and some of them are worth a lot more money. So just something worth noting. Or they're called interconnects. If you're like, that's what they call them. So if you're a fancy hi-fi audiophile type person, you won't call them a cable. You'll call them an interconnect. You can make good money from just plain stereo stereo RCA. Like if I just go on eBay quickly, you just
Do you
find.
have a video with like your electronic knowledge? Do you do that on your other
No, that sounds like, yeah, I don't know. So
Right.
maybe. I mean, so just doing a quick Google, quick eBay thing. But you need to know that it's all about brands. So when it comes to cables, it is completely about brands. If you find like a Belkin one, it doesn't matter whether it's gold plated, doesn't matter whether the cable's braided and looks fancy, it won't be worth that much. But if you find something like a QED cable, that's going to be worth about £40. And if you can find a cord company make them as well, they can be worth nearly £100 for a cord. There's loads of different companies, but it's just learning them. Learn the companies, go out there.
Daigle, he's in the AV business. I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah.
And so he's saying avsforums.com.
Yeah. AVS Forums is the big US one, and we've got AV Forums here in the UK as well. And there's a brand called Van Dam as well. They make expensive, and it's not just cables, guys. It's like it's like power leads. So like you get those big power. Like on your PlayStation 3, it's got that big socket. Let's see if I can find one. Okay. I haven't got leads to hand, but like on the back of a PlayStation, you sometimes see that big. We sometimes call it a kettle lead.
Yeah.
Like with the 3 holes in it.
Yep.
It's something that's commonly called like just a kettle lead, or I think they're called IEC cables. I think they're called. Now, again, if you buy a standard one, it will cost you £3 on eBay, literally £3. But if you get a hi-fi one, like an audiophile one, it will look the same. They'll tend to be quite short in length, like 0.75 meters or whatever. Like, I don't know if I can I screen share actually?
Yeah.
Let me screen share.
Oh, good, Fallon Milk. I'm glad you're enjoying
screen share.
Yes, evidently we're not going to teach you anything.
I pointed her in that direction because he does very basic. Like he did a lot of very simple.
Okay, here you go.
Ship it, how to print a label, or how to weigh your package, and
okay. So do you see that an IEC cable there? One went for £175. It's just a plug, but it is like it's audiophile.
Sale in my title.
It's £102. Look, that's a
do?
mains cable. Look, it's just literally a mains cable. £102 at auction. Someone paid for that.
Wow. Because
it's sold. To audio. Look at the keyword there, audiophile. So anyone that's an audiophiles are very self-aware, and like, they like to call themselves audiophiles. They know they're being not rinsed, but it's if you've spent 30 grand on a hi-fi, £100 to plug it into the wall, it's worth it. And then they won't plug that into the wall. They'll plug it into what's called a mains conditioner, because a hi-fi buff will know that the electricity coming into your house is dirty with all kinds of spikes and things like that, and that'll color your sound that you don't. And so they will have the house's electricity coming into a mains conditioner, and then they'll plug their expensive hi-fi into that. So, and sometimes you will find this stuff, boxes of cables. So
the thing is, I think the biggest point with this all is that the thrift stores or charity shops, they don't know. This is one thing that they don't know. They don't have time to look up hundreds and hundreds of cables. They don't look at, like my thrift store, I look at them every time I go in, because they're just throw them in a big, they either hang them in bags in one thrift store, just loads of them. Yeah. And I'm always looking for the GameCube.
Well, I mean, it's always a good thing as well that when you're like buying hi-fi, for example, if you buy a separate system, don't just bundle the cable. Check what cables come with it. They might be cheap, in which case that's fine. You can keep them for yourself to test or whatever. But you might get lucky and have someone, because sometimes it's not even tech snobs. Having worked in hi-fi, I know that when you were a hi-fi salesman, one of the things that you knew was the margin was in the accessories, right? Mm-hmm. So you might sell someone a 10 grand hi-fi, but you're only going to see so much margin. I mean, the margin, the higher up you go, gets better. Actually, it's not. So Sony margin would be rubbish. Like, you know, if you bought like a Sony hi-fi, margin will be rubbish because it's mainstream stuff. But the more you upsell a customer into like a better system, like say if you sold them like Nime or Arcam or one of these nicer brands, the margin will go up anyway. But the thing is, the real money was in the accessories. So, and all salesmen are taught this. So if anyone goes to a hi-fi shop to buy a hi-fi, the chances are they're going to be sold and they're going to want to buy it, because you yourself, if you spend £500 on a CD player or £1,000 on a CD player, it just stands to reason when the guy says to you, but obviously you want to make sure that as much of that signal gets through as cleanly as possible into the amplifier, or into, you know, you're going to use the best cable. 50, 60 pounds suddenly on a cable doesn't look so expensive, and hi-fi salesmen will sell these cables to their customers. So oftentimes people will have, you know, and in a bad way, it almost got to a joke where people used to like to sell expensive cables to people buying really cheap, like
I think I've been like a victim of that.
It's really bad, but that tends to happen in your chain stores. Like in the chain stores, they used to try to sell someone like a £50 DVD player and then sell them like a £30 cable to connect the DVD player. On a £50 DVD player, you're just wasting your money, but that would happen often in like the chain stores, the high street electronic stores. But in a proper hi-fi store, you know, they're going to treat you with a bit more respect. They're not going to like, you know, they're not going to like take you for a mug.
You can also find cables all the time at yard sales. I mean, they are.
Oh yeah,
because never had I even realized there was a thing as reselling. You know, I'd have a yard sale at least every year, and I would just grab a box full of cables that we didn't use and set it out there. And every time someone would be like, "Can I buy the whole box?" You know, so I don't know what I got rid of. Who knows? But and I, you know, if the wife is selling it, you're selling it cheap. They just want the crap gone. So now it's good to know, you know, at least one thing that I can look for, you know.
I mean, do you want to share this screen? Like, look at what this is, guys, right? This is just a kettle plug, right? But when you buy it, it comes with little rubber things on the end of the plug to make it look fancy. Look, they literally put little bits of rubber on the end of the plug socket. I mean, it's almost laughable, but
like that stays there.
No, you take that off before using it, but that's just how it. Yeah, okay. But this is quite a known brand. It's like Russ Andrews. So £49 for.
Well, it's a higher gauge, right? Probably, or better shielded, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the idea. It's going to be shielded, and you know, it's definitely the brands like that are worth keeping an eye out on. Like if you come across them, you know.
Well, and that's the thing. Another thing, like also, if you look at like I pick up laptop power packs, like the power supplies. You look at like HP power supplies, you can sell them in lots for loads of money. People just go crazy over them because like companies refurbishing laptops, things like that, they need them all the time, and you can sell them big time. Apple, same way. Anything Apple. If it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, it's just, I don't think there's an Apple accessory you can buy on the market for less than $15-$20, and that's like a
And like picking up those old Apple FireWire power adapters for the old iPods. They will sell secondhand still for $15-$20. Yeah, Kent's got some good points. The braided cable is to reject AC noise. So yeah, I mean it obviously makes a difference, but you're talking diminishing returns.
So the cord, like the cord you just showed.
Yeah.
They sold it for what, £49, it said?
That was used, yeah. So brand new, someone would have paid like, I don't know, 70, 80 quid for it comfortably. Okay. Yeah.
And it's not like cords go bad. I mean,
no. It's
you have to test, and it's simple to ship. Like, why would we be looking at?
And again, the thing is, like, that kind of item is going to be looked after. So, I mean, you're more, if I'm honest, you're more likely to find that kind of item attached to a hi-fi. You know what I mean? Like, so if you were to buy a hi-fi, you may find it attached, but it's always worth looking at cables because, like Tommy said, it's not just about finding these kind of like super fancy cables. It's sometimes about finding like laptop power supplies, remote controls,
or like Commodore
Apple
64 power
accessories.
supplies, like they're
Yep.
they're $30, because they don't make them anymore.
Yep.
And people
Exactly.
want the original; they don't want aftermarket repop stuff. So, but the thing is like what I want to point out.
Mm.
It's kind of like clothing. Once you get a feel for it, you're going to be able to just spot a quality cable.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Just like feeling clothing or looking, you can tell a difference between a Walmart piece of clothing or Ralph Lauren or something. The cables are the same exact way. You can even on like even at like our middle of the road or lower end stuff. Like we have Monster cable here. Do you have Monster cable?
Oh yeah, I've got a Monster
Yeah,
cable. Optical
like
cable,
I mean, Monster used to be a higher end back in the day. I don't know that it still is anymore. I think it's more like mainstream now.
Yeah, it is. It is a bit, but it's
But
still
over the
valuable.
stuff that comes with like your stuff out of the box, you can see a break. You can see a difference and feel the difference. It's
That's typically the one like Best Buy will push me.
Yeah.
yeah,
But Monster cable is still, it still sells for money. I mean, it doesn't have as good used resale value, but still not bad. I mean, it's still
But if
not
you see a new package in a thrift store for 50 cents or $1. I mean,
then definitely, yeah.
Well, and you know what this conversation is doing for me is I still have the mentality with those types of items to buy new, where if I need a new cable for a system in my house, yeah, I'm going to go to eBay now because I don't think like that typically. But this is showing me that you can save money and cords don't expire. So why wouldn't you?
I mean, I've listened to enough like expensive hi-fis over the years, and we used to do this stuff when we were bored. So we'd on purposely change out audio cables to like cables that would come with like the cheapest of the cheap thing and put it on the most expensive hi-fi we had. And so we'd use like a cable that came free with a DVD player or something, and we'd plug it into like a 50 grand hi-fi, just and the reality is you can't, unless you were in like a listening room and like listening to a particular CD that you knew like the back of your hand or something, most people are just not going to be able to differentiate. But it's not about that. It's all about, like Tommy says, it's about spotting, kind of just like when you buy a fancy Ralph Lauren jumper or something versus like a regular jumper, if they're both made out of 100% cotton or wool or something, really, I mean, people always say like, oh, that's a lot better. I mean, really, is it? I mean, some of it, there may be certain details that might be better, but is the average person gonna notice? Like, I know certainly that when I'm wearing a branded top versus when I'm wearing a generic top, I can't tell the difference. I'm just an average. I'm not a fashionista, so I don't know. So to me, it doesn't. I'm not gonna notice that it fits different or whatever. I'm just not gonna notice. But it's the same with the hi-fi stuff. Most people are not going to notice, and by most people I actually mean 99%. It's only going to ever be the 1% that can actually notice.
Yeah, well, and then Dee's up here saying that cords can go back. I realize everything can go bad.
Yeah, if you have people that bend them and break the shielding and stuff, that's when they go bad. They generally don't go bad from just normal use, is what we're saying. They generally don't go bad.
And this higher end stuff is made of better material, so they are, the flex isn't made of plastic,
right.
And they won't. Like this can go bad at that section there because it's such thin plastic, so the connection can break. On these higher end cables, that's not gonna happen. Normally this housing is made of better material. The braiding is stiffer. It's it's gonna be, the only way like it will ever stop working is when the actual connection break.
They have bend rates, like Apple cords have bend rates actually. So like, if a lot of people don't know that, so when you're buying like your Apple charging cable, there's an actual amount of times that it's made to bend and put in. Like then if you look at like Anchor, it has a bend rate of like 5,000 times. Every cable that's made generally has an expected bend rate, which is how people unfortunately treat their cables. They're bad. It's
Well, it's almost impossible to treat them right because I don't know, things get caught up. I drop my phone with a cable attached on it all the time, and it's gonna kill it. Oh, Susie, thank you.
Yeah, or you see your kids like yanking the cord by the long piece out of the wall.
But that's another benefit of a hi-fi system. Most of the time, once it's plugged in, it's just left. People aren't going back and and that's why when you buy these hi-fis and things, you just find them attached and check them out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you could probably make a deal with some certain charity shops that don't know what to do with the plethora of cables that come in too as well. Like you have your deal with electronics or whatever with your specific charity shop. I mean, what are they going to do? Throw them out?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times like these, that you had to replace a power cord. Generally, that's due to surges in your house. It's not due, and that's why people put filters on their houses and things like that.
I think Dee and Kent have got their wires crossed.
Yeah,
I did that. We're talking more about like hi-fi wires. Like I can understand with power cables or power supplies where there's a power brick in the middle or something. They've got more chance of something happening because obviously there's circuitry there as well. But like Kent's just talking about standard hi-fi cables, which are literally, like he says, just copper. Yeah.
Yeah, they just plug in. You set it and forget it. I rip them in and out of your, or whatever. But power supplies go out in computers. The relay stops clicking. I
mean, like the Xbox power supply has like a little light in it, doesn't it? In the actual power brick. So there's obviously something going on in there. It's doing some kind of conversion of.
And also, what a lot of people know is on the 360. You know how you got the USB ports on the front. If kids put stuff in there, and if something makes them ground, it'll shut that brick off. That brick won't work. So I've had two that I thought were bad, and I actually looked in the USB ports, cleared them out, cleared the obstruction. They flicked right on.
Is there a reset button on those? Does a power brick? This may be.
I don't know. No, they just work or they don't on those, unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah, they just work or they don't. But they're, Z is in stream food will be the topic. No, we got off of food after he was done eating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right about that. The guitar players and musicians, they're crazy about that.
So when you get a cord that the brick thing buzzes, what creates that? Like, is that a bad cord, or is there something weird going on if it's buzzing?
That's noise, isn't it? I think that is electrical noise.
Is that just
that's likely to be like the shielding isn't strong enough on the wire.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll get sometimes they supply you with these little clip-on bits. I don't know what they're called, but sometimes they'll actually supply you with those to wrap around the cable to help protect it. So
it's not like a fire hazard or anything like that?
No, it's just noise.
All right.
What do you got in your hand flicking around? Fidget spinner?
No, it's just a SCART adapter.
Yeah, we don't. That's one thing we don't have here.
Yeah, you don't have SCART. It's more of a European
very
thing.
Sought after though in the retro gaming community.
It is, but it's not the best. I mean, there's two types. SCART cables. See, this is just an adapter to convert, composite video, the yellow, red, and white into that. Because a lot of our older TVs had that socket. In France, they called it Peritel or something. So it's SCART connection. But this is not a proper SCART connection. What you want is like an RGB SCART connection. And you can tell if it is or not because you can see here there's lots of pins missing. But this is just how it's meant to be. You can see that there's not actually a full set of pins inside the connector. An RGB SCART lead will have the full set of pins.
Yeah, I've always wondered why they're so... Junk girl gave birth to well, and that's the thing, that's the nice thing. People always talk about kids and their gaming and that, but that's where the future is going. You cannot deny I mean, if you're not allowing your kids to learn about this, you're denying them the future. Actually,
Yeah, I mean, from a reselling perspective, though, I'd say that you just I think I've heard Lonnie say this as well. You don't need to be an expert; you just need to know enough to sell it, right?
yeah, just
So,
yep.
from a resale perspective, I'd say just like don't ignore all the you don't have to become an audiophile. You don't have to be into hi-fi or anything like that. You can just learn. Look, learn Van Dam, Cord, QED, Ixus, Monster. Learn a few brands. Just learn a few brands. Just like I'm not a fashionista, but I know a few brands of clothes now that
And you
that
learn
do well.
more every week.
Yeah,
You don't
that's that.
stop. Yeah.
Yeah, so just learn a couple brands, learn a few differences, learn knowing the bolos of the cable world. Like it's. I think with video games it can be quite easy because with video games, certain cables you can look specifically for certain things like Tommy's been saying with the GameCube cable. Like there's also a cable for the Philips CDI which can be worth about £40 on its own, which connects Philips CDI controllers and things like that. I don't know, but it's just pick up little bits.
Yeah.
There's a lot out there. And that's just one small niche. Like you just think about how many of those are out there. When people always say it's hard to make money, there's hundreds of or thousands of those little markets like that are out there that you can learn enough about to make money.
I mean, the thing is, like, if someone else could have bought this with, like, would they really have known that that's not the standard cable, or it could easily slip by you? It's one of those things. I think cables and things like this are interesting because it's just one of those things where it could just slip by you, and
I can almost guarantee you can go into any thrift store and find cables that you could probably resell.
Yeah.
Unless there's other resellers in there, of course.
Well, I think remote controls are a great example of this.
Yeah,
I mean, whereas now people value remote controls, whereas before they didn't so much. I think now people are a lot more aware of the potential value of old remote controls, and I think it's always nice to know about items that aren't impressive but are valuable. Like they're not impressive because they're just
I mean, there's like remote brands here called like Universal. They're like, you use macros to program them to run your whole system. You have like Pioneer Elite remotes, $40, $50, $60, $80. Like there's just so many remotes out there that, and again, you can look at them and see that, wow, that one's got an LED on or LCD or whatever display. And it's, touchscreen, you can just tell the quality difference in a lot of things like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and Chris is right. You can have two different resellers go into a thrift shop and both find things that they missed over. I remember going into a Goodwill last year. Hey, Lauren, I haven't seen you in ages. Hi. I went into a Goodwill and there were there's always a ton of resellers in ours. And all of the men look at the electronics, right? So I was trying to figure out electronics. So I walked up and found a, what do they call the power for a PC? What's the brand? Corsair? Is it Corsair?
Corsair?
Yeah. So
Corsair, yeah.
I took a risk. It was like $6. I didn't know if it worked. I didn't know how to, I didn't know anything about it, but I'd seen that all these men had touched it and walked by. I go, this is probably a huge mistake, but how am I going to learn unless I take this thing home, figure out what it is, and, I just wanted to know more. So I listed it and got scared because I didn't know if it worked or not. So I unlisted it, and my son decided to build a computer on his own. And I said, here, you can have it. And the thing saved us, well over $100.
Was it a keyboard?
No, it was the power
supply inside the
PC.
Oh, of course, their power supply.
Yeah, like it was.
Yeah.
Like it was a good one.
Oh yeah, power supplies can cost. Yeah, I mean,
here I'm still stumbling with words because I still don't know the market, but at least I tried. Okay, and to take it, and I go, will this work for you? And he goes, well, if it's good. And so I said, well, go YouTube it, look at and see how we can test it without actually having it in a computer. And he did that. We tested it. It was good. And it's in his computer now, and it's great.
Wow, yeah.
So, I mean, to not go outside of your comfort zone.
And a lot of things like people look at, like, that had a barcode on it, right? And if
Yeah,
and a lot of people, and also you can
someone had obviously upgraded because they put it
but
in
$6,
you know.
you'd definitely buy it for $6.
Right.
Well, yeah, somebody will strip the wires out of it for $6, like the copper. But yeah, it's
yeah,
it's crazy. There's so many things out there. Yeah, hearing aid remotes, right, Tim? We talked about that last night, didn't we?
I think also like what you mentioned there, Tracy, is really good. Like all the guys picked that up, right?
Well,
Now the same thing with electronics is like electronics is like when I say electronics, people automatically assume hi-fi and this, that, and the other. But there's a massive market in home appliances. You know, like you can make insane money selling food mixers and selling like soup makers and selling
Juicers and
or so much. And again, if you learn about the good brands, you're in for some good money with it as well. So like appliances, electronics is just so much. So much more than just looking at just the generic stuff. I mean, like it's always worth like you said, broadening what you're looking at and looking at like if I find a vintage Kenwood food mixer at car boot here, the chances are it's not going to be it's not going to be sold for a lot of money, but I know that the attachments and the mixing bowl, and sometimes they used to come with a jug that was solid glass as well, it's worth money, and you pick things up like that. I mean,
yeah, and it's easier the cheaper you can find it. You don't feel so idiotic, risking it on items you don't know anything about. But I don't know. I like to learn by bringing it home and spending time on it.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you had that attitude, actually, because you could have easily left that there and not. Yeah.
I almost felt like it was going to not work, and that's okay. $6 to figure that out would have been fine. And I'm obviously
to be honest with you, but like that's the thing. Again, a little bit of knowledge helps with that. Do you want to shout out?
That's
Chris?
so sweet. I appreciate the super.
Like one thing you'll know about power supplies is as long as you can't smell burning or any like blatant signs of physical damage, the chances are a power supply is going to work, because for the past many years, power supplies are much smarter than they once were, and they won't allow themselves to get shorted out and like a power supply will cut out way before it will go wrong. Like if it overheats, it'll cut out. If it's being overloaded, it'll cut out before it gets damaged. So most of them are actually going to be working fine. I saw one of my power supplies. You talk about a power supply from a car boot. I was walking down my road and I saw one of my neighbors had like a dented PC that he was throwing away, like in the tip. And when I mean dented, like the case was destroyed, the motherboard was broken in half. It was a completely destroyed PC, but it had a Corsair power supply in it.
Yeah.
I just took the power supply out, took it home, and it's been running a PC for me for now a year now.
Hold on, can we help Tim real quick? Tim's missing his Vatican coins. Tim, I'll help you. They're the ones with the little boys on them. You want to look at the coins with the little boys on them. That'll help you find them.
Oh god.
Sorry.
Eric says I have a soup maker.
She's at work.
Oh god.
You've listed the soup maker, right?
No.
Okay. Are you making soup tonight?
No, I'm gonna list it. Thanks for bringing that up.
I'm not judging. God, I've listed one day out of this week. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's just. I think it's just. Yeah, it's all about knowledge.
ASUS, Ray. ASUS, not ASUS. ASUS.
I was actually thinking of getting their phone, Tommy. You know the
ASUS
ROG2.
Badass.
Have you seen the ROG2 phone?
Who? No. The ROG 2?
Yeah, looks insane. I'm seriously close because I've actually gone back to my broken phone because I'd rather use this than the phone I was using, the Nokia. The Nokia.
Did I miss the super chat?
Did you miss the super chat? I don't think you did.
I don't think so.
Chernox Connections. Wasn't it?
Yeah. And speaking of Chernox, you guys, he has tons of knowledge on vintage clothing, man.
He's got a ton of knowledge.
So if you're not sub to him.
Ponchos and wires.
Like when he goes live though, like the only person I don't leave is here ever. But I head over there because I'm learning a lot about vintage clothing because I suck at that.
Just, if he tries to give you tank knowledge,
Come take it.
tanks or no tanks. Tanks or no tanks. That's
Trying to teach you how to run an auction. Don't take that knowledge. But if you sell vintage clothing, head over there.
Yeah, no, but Ship and Sunshine, Asus is a hell of a good brand, especially for motherboards. They're like, and they're amazing. I love Asus. I used to have a wholesale. I might try and open that back up. They are the best. One of the best.
Yeah, the ROG stuff is nice. Like I love their motherboards and
Yep. They're badass. I have stacks of Asus around here.
Their phones are like the ROG 2 phone. Oh my god, the specs on that.
Have you ever looked at the 1.5 or whatever they eat?
The one, yeah, but that's the Asus. No, the 1T, the One Plus.
You remember, like the gamer guy came out. He did his own phone. Like it was like, I think they're like the one. They did like the 1 Plus, 1.3, 1 whatever.
Yeah.
1 Plus. Okay, weren't they like the baddest like Androids on the market at one time?
May well have been, but I'm too. The problem I've got is my Razer phone has got 120 hertz screen, and honestly, I can't use another phone. I'm using this phone. Look at the screen; it's just destroyed. It's cracked.
Oh, you went back to your Razer again?
Yeah, I'm using my crack because it's so much nicer to use, even when it's broken.
But let me ask you this: we can get like a screen replaced, like $20, $30.
No. I've sent this to. I've had this repaired once before. It cost me about £170.
Oh god!
What you can do is you can go over to Johanna Parrish's channel and watch her change out screens and order yours off of eBay and change your own out for $20.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like so they're on the 1 Plus 7 now or something. It looks like, and that's supposedly like they used to be crazy. It's like the 1 Plus 7, 256 gigs of RAM. They're like $400 here.
I'm gonna make a move now, guys.
Yeah, it's about that time. Actually, it is.
Shipping to do?
Yeah, I've got shipping to do, and yeah.
Oh, thanks, Lauren.
No, it's Huawei. Oh, I didn't know that.
Huawei.
What does that mean?
Yeah, Huawei. But you know, Huawei. Huawei. Yeah, it's pronounced Huawei or something. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know they were their own company, right?
Ray, you're wrong. I love this talk because I know nothing about it, and I love to learn.
I mean, you don't need to be into it. You just need to know a few little bits that can help you when you see something. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Lauren, I miss you too. I'm actually going to reach out to you today, so you need to respond this time.
Well, thanks everyone for the chat. Appreciate you having me on.
Here. Thank you.
See you guys later.
We appreciate it. Tell Beck we said hi, and we'll see you. How long before your show? 2-3 hours?
About 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay. Everybody, check out ZAHEER in 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh, he's so full of knowledge, and you see the passion in his eyes when he talks about it. I just love it.
I do too. I love it.
Lauren, we're doing a show this month. I haven't told you yet. You have to come to it. So Andy and Tanya and I have been talking, and you got to be there. And, yeah.
So.
Hi. Well, that was just 2 hours of our morning. It's so funny to give up like a whole night and then a whole morning, and it's like, oh, eBay might need some attention. Well, I don't know about you, but my eBay needs attention.
My eBay doesn't need any attention at all, funny enough. But my Mercari does. And Poshmark, I think Poshmark does. Like, I'm not sure.
I'm just going to say it here live, Lauren, because it's just easier this way. I think if I could find my calendar from David that I took down to look at, here it is. I think it's Monday the 20th is the day we're thinking. So I'll reach out to you.
Yeah, there's just so many little things out there, and it would be nice, like if because Zahir does have a lot of knowledge. Ken has a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge that we have access to, and
I wish Kent would just come on. I don't care if he shows his face or not. I would like to hear what he has to say.
we don't care that he lives in the South and he has one tooth. We don't care.
We don't.
Fine.
And I don't judge for being 500 pounds. I don't know
I know.
why he's bothered.
Running on the treadmill this morning. I don't believe it a bit. I mean, I think his floor would fall in, but he's got a lot of knowledge. Hey, Harry, how you doing? There's my neighbor, Harry Humstone, without a P.
Shazad, you have all the knowledge. But I would love to hear him. Well, actually, I would like to see Kent in the morning. I want to hear his knowledge. And then I'd like to also hear him in the evening with no knowledge. Because I'm pretty sure it's two different
people. He has knowledge of nighttime snacks to use before bed.
Mm-hmm. Food snacks, yes.
Blue Tic Tacs.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
No, this has been fun. This is just how we are. It takes us a while to get into anything good to talk about, but we get there eventually.
It does.
I learned a lot, and I know a lot of people in here learned a lot, and that's why topics suck, because you just have to go with what's available. And Z had the chords in front of him and the knowledge, and it started a spark of conversation. I love it.
And tomorrow it could be underwire talk for bras. We don't know.
Yeah, I might pull my bra off and show you right now.
We have no idea what it could be. It's so bizarre how we just randomly jump topics.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the morning thing is going to be fun once we get it all figured out. So we're going to let you guys go. So go get your work done. I'm sure they've all been working while we've been sitting here on our butts.
Flapping. We had our own chin wag this morning.
I know. I'm going to make another pot of coffee and get to working. So if anyone does a live working hangout, I will see you in that chat. So if you're planning on doing one, let me know. I want to work.
And D goes live in like 45 minutes, right?
Oh, perfect. I will be there. Is it 40? Yeah, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
40 minutes.
D goes live in 45 minutes and she's out of words 10 minutes in.
So flipping particles, if you don't know. There she is. There she is.
Ray's asking for an eye roll, please. Oh, God.
Hi, David. Have you been
Milk was sharing? What'd I say? I'll just share my Poshmark closet. Look.
That's good. That's very good. I need to take
We're sorry, Val. Val, you got to have some questions, and we'll help you as much as possible. I promise. I feel bad that we didn't really talk about the charity from other than the first minute that we need to talk about.
Go ahead. I want you to do it now.
Our very good friends who we adore, Brad and Jazz, two Aussie thrifters, are having a charity tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, to benefit the crazy, crazy Australian bushfires that are going on over there. And some of our good friends are very close to being affected. Mel is within like 100 kilometers, I believe, of fire. And I don't know if anyone saw Rob, the VHS Aussie Thrifter's newest Instagram. He can actually walk to the fires now. Like they receded and came back last night. And he was showing it on his Instagram last night. And it's pretty scary looking. And
of course, Rob,
a lot of friends over there, a lot of brilliant, amazing people. And a lot of creators are coming together tomorrow to have an auction. We're donating stuff. Myself, Traci, Ronnie Hart, the amazing Ronnie Hart, Rally Roots, Ryan. Well, I think just Ryan. I'm sorry. I think Allie's out of town. So Ryan Roots will be there. A lot of Josh.
So many
people. And I know I'm going to forget some and I don't mean to. But the amazing Bumcrag Picker hopefully will be there to moderate. And he put the link up, right? Yes, I see the link.
And Dwayne, Mothership Products.
Yeah, Dwayne, Mothership Products will be calling the auction for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone would like to come and support, even just to watch and just bring notice or tell people, I know not everyone can donate stuff or bid on stuff, but it would still be nice to have the support because there are some amazing, amazing people there.
Lauren, 3:30 in the afternoon Central Time is when it starts.
Mm-hmm.
And I have in the description the link to and Bumcrack just put it in also. Oh, no, Bumcrack, thank you. The donate directly link is right there with Bumcrack. I have the actual auction link in my description, and I will also put the donate directly links in there after we get off of here. On which day? Tomorrow.
And Lauren, if you want to be a part of it, you're more than welcome. There's plenty of spots. If you want to just watch, you're more than welcome. We'd love to have you. We know you have amazing stuff as well and a good heart.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to spend an absurd amount of money on something and buy it, we'll have that too.
That's right.
Yes. So Patty, I don't know how, like if you want to go on and do it, you can go on and donate if you have something, or you can donate directly to the link that Bumcrack put there, which they will get a notice of, right? They'll get.
Yeah, the best way to do it, honestly, if you want to donate something or come on and auction something, is to contact 2 Aussie thrifters on Instagram and see if he has space to do that, or figure it out from there. There is space still available.
As long as I'll try and spend some money. There you go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and Lauren, if you want to auction anything up, there's going to be a ton of people there, I'm sure. So let us know. Cool.
Anybody that can share it and promote it it's awesome, because these guys are doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're not taking a penny. It's going directly to the charity, not through them, not through PayPal, not through anything. All the payments are going directly to the charity for the animals. There's something like 1 billion animals been killed right now, or in the fires that we know of. I'm sure these are rough guesses, but lots of endangered species wiped out. So Brad and Jazz picked, I believe it's an animal charity, and what was the other one? A fireman's fund?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a Red Cross type.
Yeah, Red Cross. That's it.
Yeah, for the firemen. It is so sad. I've never seen anything like that in my entire life.
No, it is. And the actual reason for the show today was to promote that, and we kind of got off track, but we really want to touch on that hard, because it does mean a lot to a lot of our close friends that we've made.
And Brad and Jazz have put a lot of effort into this. I'm so proud of them.
And we really feel like they're family. Like, they're not like just friends. We talk to them every day, day in and day out. So many amazing Australians there, and it's just like Bron was messaging me last night, like in tears, like literally, like just, it was crazy. Like, she started off messaging me about a Ralph Lauren shirt, asking me if it was real. And it just went into like, I can't even watch. I can't even, like, it was like, damn. And it's hard to even understand it, because we have California affected, like we've talked about, but we don't have our whole country affected like they do, unfortunately.
It's almost like, I'm sure, the feeling of war or something.
There's just a power you can't control. You can't, and I think I would rather be bombed, honestly, than burned alive, honestly. It'd be gone and not burned alive, could happen. I don't know how many people are dead. I have not really.
Well, I mean, the good thing is, you have warning with this. We get all that, but when you lose everything you have, that's bigger than anyone can understand that hadn't gone through it. And just, I don't know, the breathing quality alone. Look at.
Yeah, Mel's got to wear a mask to go outside, and she sends pictures or puts it on her Instagram, and she looks out her front door and the sky's just
black.
And not to take anything away from our, West Coast dealings, but this is their whole country, both sides, the middle, everything. They don't have anywhere to go. They're an island, they're, it's a monstrous island, but an island.
Yeah.
There's people trapped on beaches. There's people, like Aunt Drew and Sarah's family, they were the last ask when we last asked them, they were trapped on a beach. They had nowhere to go.
Nope.
Nowhere to go. All they had was the beach.
And the thing is, it's not even under control yet.
They're only halfway through the fire season.
But when fires like this get under control, anything can change any second. So anyway, we're going to be there to help. I hope y'all can make it, and I hope you can share it out to the public and your social media platforms that you participate in. You can find it if you just go find one of our Instagrams. We've both shared it a bunch. You can find.
I think Ryan Roots has shared it. I know Brad and Jazz, all the Aussies.
Yeah.
I'm sure ZAHEER will touch on it in his show today, which will give us another, he gets like 200 people on his Friday show, which is amazing that we'll get out there. All the Australians have shared it out. So there's plenty of, if you see anything about the Australian bushfire relief, just make sure it's legit and it's not, someone putting fake ones up to copy people, because that's going on evidently with a lot of this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway, so I will see you guys in Flipping Particles chat in 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And just wish everybody a prosperous day.
Yep. Thank you guys. See you next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Big red button is